Before I show you this episode on the Great British Debate last Sunday on GBnews, by the way, my eye infection's still there, hence the sunglasses. Before I show you this, I didn't know who was going to be on with me. So I was quite surprised when I saw Jim Dale, actually. I mean, this is the man, don't forget, who wants people like me criminalised for my views on climate. So I can't have any respect for any argument like that. And so it came on, and I was asked I was asked to speak first, and I pointed out a few things which I'll explain as we go on. But his response was got nothing to do with the subject. His response was just about how many people voted for which party, and therefore your side is losing, Paul. And this is the problem with trying to talk to Jim, and he's got me defeated on this, because we never discuss the evidence. No matter what I present, no matter who it's from, and without looking at it, he goes, no, 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 no. So it's not a debate, really. It's him getting in his fixed piece speech, as it were. This is a man who doesn't know his subject at all. I mean, not at all. So it is actually very difficult to debate with someone like that. With someone who says, no, you're wrong, this is why, you can have a debate. The debate was really cut short a great deal because there was news from America with the assassination attempt on Trump, so they had to switch over to that, which took the bulk of the time away, actually, it's happened to me before on GBnews with the riots in London and things. So here we go. Anyway, it's going to be a very short video, this, because there wasn't much to it at all. But I always try to follow these things up with a video to keep my frustration in control at trying to debate idiots, to put it bluntly. Here we go.
37 minutes after 5 o'clock. Welcome. Oh my goodness, how many more hours for the football match? 2.5. I'm Nana Akweer. This is GB News live on TV, online and on digital radio. Now it's time for the Great British Debate this hour. And I'm asking, is energy safe under Labour? The Energy Secretary, Ed Miliband, has made the controversial decision to approve 3 massive solar farms in the east of England that have been previously blocked by Tory ministers. MPs and campaigners have accused him of endangering the country's food security by sacrificing large amounts of farmland for the solar projects. There have also been reports that Labour is considering blocking oil and gas drilling in the North Sea. But Ed Miliband has denied this, and his department says the government won't issue new licences to explore new oil gas fields, but also won't revoke existing ones. So for the Great British debate this hour, I'm asking, is energy safe under Labour? Well, joining me to debate this, climate scientist Paul Burgess and senior meteorologist Jim Dale. The Dastardy duo have returned. Paul Burgess, this is not climate change. You're not wearing those because of that, are you? No, obviously not. Paul Burgess, no. Talk to me, Paul. Solar farms, surely this is a good thing. Solar power.
No, it's not. I mean, basically, we're putting the cost of electricity up enormously with all the wind and solar. I mean, Ed Miliband's even trying to promote offshore wind, which is £246 a megawatt they're offering for it. I mean, gas at the moment, £65. Onshore wind 89, offshore wind 102. But the big problem is this: as we increase wind, we're going to be paying more the constraint payments because we have to pay overnight for all of it, even though we don't use it. And so as we raise that a limit on wind, we're going to be paying enormous amounts of constraint payments. And besides which, we're having to spend 60 billion to improve the network on the grid. All these are costs coming on the consumer. And what matters in any economy is cheap energy. And we don't have that. What I'm just giving us are just facts. The constraint payments, because when you put a wind farm in or a solar farm in, you've got to take everything they're capable of producing, not what you want. So if overnight we have low demand, obviously, there's a lot of wind, a lot of energy is being produced in the wind farms, we still have to pay for it. So we can end up paying 3 or 4 times the price because, there's enormous amounts of wind that night. We don't want it. We have to pay them to shut off, and it's called constraint payments. While I was saying that, Jim was, saying no with his head there, nodding. He doesn't understand the subject. But what's going to follow now is not a response to that, not a response to the costs or anything. No, a prepared little bit by Jim of a standard thing he's got prepared so that he can roll the politics out and not relate in any way to the subject we're discussing. Here goes.
Jim Dale.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Look, we had a general election about 9 days ago, did we not? And I think there's a big vote in favour, about 6-1 if you split the parties from progressive climate change, green energy supporters to the other side, which are regressive and none of the sort. Paul's side, if you like, and they lost. So this was a democratic vote. The new government's been in 8 days, so the wheels are starting to turn and turn quite quickly. Where we weren't safe is where we were before. Let's make that clear. And in two ways. First of all, the climate itself. We have to mitigate the climate, what's going on globally across the world. We have to take steps, as we have been taking steps. Even the last Tory government did some of that, not enough and not fast enough, but nonetheless, they were involved. Where they lost the vote, by the way, in that, it is well seen that the Tories lost vote, particularly in the blue wall areas, because of their environmental climate change stance.
But Jim, a lot of them, the two parties were almost neck and neck with their policies. I mean, one was just bringing net zero forward a bit. That's all the difference. They still supported the same sort of thing.
Yeah, the Tories were sitting on the fence or even going backwards because they were chasing one guy. We saw it. They're not the same, and you've already seen the what's going to happen in the Labour manifesto. GB Energy, the transition of the oil and gas jobs over time, and it has to be. You know, I've always said this: evolution, not revolution. I'd like it to move faster, but it won't do. But nonetheless, this is the direction of travel. And Paul, there's no stopping this now. Mate, it's absolutely clear.
Is there, Paul? Is there any stopping it?
Oh, yes, there is, because it's totally unrealistic. We can't afford to do it. I mean, even this new energy thing they're talking about is not possible. I mean, I've got to see, I'm doing a video now with that recording of the Prime Minister being told it's going to cost hundreds of billions, not just 8.1 billion and so on. So what's going to stop this is the practicality of it all. Now, my answer is not to do with politics. I'm not interested in politics. I'm interested in science. Now, even if Jim was right, let's just assume that Jim was right. What we're doing makes no difference whatsoever to the planet. None at all. And what they're not doing is having a go at the Chinese and Indians and fossil fuels. I mean, in the country at the moment, if you take renewable of solar and wind, it's 4.8% of our total energy. 4.8%.
It's not enough, is it?
And what they're trying to do is stop oil, which is not just for energy, it's for everything from your clothes to the roads.
OK, so I'm going to give Jim Dale, you've got about 10 seconds to respond to that. Very 10 seconds, we've got to go, sadly.
Just gave you there, absolute bogus. In this country alone, there are times when renewable energy that we get from the sun or the wind or the waves comes in far, far higher than oil, gas. Coal's virtually zero every day nowadays.
Overall, it's 4.8%.
It's clear. It's absolutely clear. There's only one direction. We're 9 days into this new government.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, we know all the backstory about how many days we're in. Can I just ask you then? I'll ask you, Jim Dale. Is energy safe under Labour, Jim Dale?
Of course, it's safe.
And also, Paul Burgess, is it safe?
It's the worst situation with Miliband in charge we could ever imagine being in.
That's pretty clear. All right, thank you very much. Jim Dale, senior meteorologist, and also Paul Burgess, a climate scientist. Thank you so much.
Well, there you go. This is from the Department of Energy Security and Net Zero. Total clashing remarks there. You can't have security and net zero, but never mind. So there, if you look at the part of solar and wind together, add them together, you'll get 4.8% of our total energy. But they want to stop the oil, they want to stop the gas, they want to do all this. And this is the situation we're in. He was, again, denying that. He was, nodding his head to say, no, as I was stating this. You can't have a discussion with Jim Dale. It has no meaning. So the point I'm making here, of course, is, given that wind and solar is less than 5%, we've got a long way to go. Now, at times, I know he's right, wind gets to 40% of our electricity supply. Our electricity supply is only 1/5 of our energy, by the way. The grid's about roughly 20%. So if you've got, let's say, 40% of 20%, you haven't got what he's thinking. He doesn't understand the difference between total energy and the grid. And I think that's the problem there. We are a very short debate with Jim Dale, cut short by the news from America. a news story came in from the FBI, which got in the way. But it's very frustrating for me trying to have a discussion with a man who actually wants to be criminalised. I mean, ignorance, pure ignorance, wants my views criminalised. That's the state of ignorance on the other side, to put it bluntly. I'll end with that because there's not much more I can add to this video. It's extremely short exchange, but you see, it keeps the profile of my message high. Being on television keeps it high. That was a Zoom call that was quickly arranged, so much easier for me, not my normal 14 hours of travel to get a few minutes in. So there we are, and I'll enjoy your comments as usual. Bye for now.